been an honor being an ambassador for the Boys and Girls Club for this last year, but nothing has excited me more than being able to MC the grand opening of the new Teen Center tonight. So, so today, well, we all been waiting in anticipation for this new club, seeing it build, coming by, seeing the Warriors get. I'm like, okay, it's almost approaching. The time is approaching. And so I myself benefited a lot from the teens programs at the club. I just recently got to travel out the country to go to Ghana to study abroad. Through some opportunities through the Boys and Girls Club, had networking opportunities that I wouldn't have had without the Boys and Girls Club. And this impacted my family's life, my siblings' life, and just has been able to make me a testimony for my community and just become a better person overall. So let's just get started with the program. So I have the pleasure of introducing Ms. Susie and Dave Spence. I've been told that it was their vision and their initial donation that got the North County expansion moving, and that Dave and Chris chairs the 25 million Place to Become campaign. They are truly leaders that we can emulate. Susie and Dave, on behalf of all the members currently enrolled and that will enroll, thank you very much. So, Miss Susie, come to the stage.
Welcome, everyone. What an exciting day. And welcome to the grand opening of the Teen Center of Excellence. It is really great to say that and look over at this building. I have been involved with St. Louis Youth for over 15 years. I'm actually known as the Cake Lady. And I've been the Resource Development Chair on the board for the last 6 years. At the time, Boys and Girls Club had a strategic plan to open new clubs in North County. And after the 2014 events that occurred in our community, Dave and I together decided to make the first gift to jumpstart the mission to bring Boys and Girls Clubs to the youth in North County. That gift, plus the many generous gifts from many of you here and in our community, brings us to this day. Look at this magnificent building, a beacon of hope for all our children to know that we care and that they have a bright future and a place to become who they were meant to be. When I visited schools as the Cake Lady, the kids would always ask me, why are you here? And every time I came, I would say to them, the reason I'm here is you are special since the day you were born. You were put on this earth for a reason. I'm here to tell you I care and that you should believe in yourself. So to all of you, thank you. You are special, you care, and you believe our children deserve a place to become.
Darn it, I hate when I have to follow her. Jeez. Welcome, everyone. When we had this vision, first of all, I grew up in North County. I'm an Overland guy, North County Suburban Conference. And so when all this happened, and you hear like there's where Berkeley or McClure and everything else, it hit home. And so when we visited here and we started reaching out, we didn't think it was even a possibility to say no. We thought it was an opportunity to say yes. And so I always say a 100-mile journey starts with the first step. And what Susie and I decided is to have that first step, and we started reaching out and reaching out and reaching out and reaching out. And we hopefully have turned a community of saying why to a community of saying why not. And so here we are today with $22 million of $25 million raised. It was all through the power of positive thinking and all through saying, why not? I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my co-chair in crime, Pat Sly, was a co-capital chair, and it didn't happen alone. It wasn't just two people, it was a community. We actually traveled throughout the country to meet with foundations, with people who cared, and whose mission was to make a difference. So the ripple effect of this community center, or the teen center, is the Boys and Girls Club services over 8,000 kids per year. So that's 8,000 families, plus mothers, plus fathers, plus brothers, plus sisters, aunts and uncles. So the ripple effect is we are not going to solve every one of our community's issues. It's just not possible. But think of the ripple effect of this teen center and the good works that can come out of this and the continuing works going forward and what a benefit it will be to our community. So God bless America, and thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
So now I would like to introduce our president, Dr. Flint Fowler, who is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis.
Well, good afternoon, and thanks so much for coming. We are certainly excited to have you here, and on behalf of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis and our Board of Directors, welcome. What started with a conversation with Dwayne James and Gail Babcock, the late Gail Babcock from the Ferguson Youth Initiative in 2004, has brought forth this time and place. The Teen Center of Excellence is just a part of the overall strategy to serve more children in our region. I'd like to, first of all, acknowledge our elected officials that are here, those from the city of Ferguson, including the mayor and the members of the Ferguson City Council. Thank you all so much for being here and for supporting our vision. Our friends from St. Louis County, who certainly played a major role in getting us to this point. Also representatives from the Ferguson-Florissant School District and the Riverview Garden School District, who have partnered with us and allowed us to come in and set up club operations even prior to the Teen Center being built. Thanks to Arcturus, our design firm, thanks to KI, our build firm, or the build team, the Missouri Department of Finance Board, who helped put some of the funding in place to make this happen. Michael Rubin and Wendy Dyer, who led the fundraising efforts. Rich Stryler and the Stryler Group. Rich served as our construction consultant, building guy who looked out for our best interests. He has an official title. I'm just so excited and nervous, I don't remember what it is, so forgive me for that. Midwest Bank Center, who provided some of the funding for our activities. Certainly our board members who quickly aligned behind this vision, and as the Spencers have said, they said yes, it's important that we do this and move forward. And to the families that we are privileged to serve, we certainly consider it an honor. Please know when you take the tour that the construction is still in progress. There's a few doorknobs and a few pieces of glass we've yet to install, and a few name tags that we are yet to hang. But we believe it's places like this where young people have the opportunity to come, be themselves, develop positive relationships with their peers, interact with the caring adults who have their best interest at heart, and where they had a chance to get exposed to experiences that perhaps they could not get in other places, that we're really going to change their lives and build positive futures for them. So thank you all for being here. You all, thank all of you. All right, thank y'all for being here today. We really appreciate it.
Just hearing Dr. Flint Fowler list all the names and organizations and people that donated or just support the Boys and Girls Club. If you weren't here last night, one of the club members sang a song, and the hook was Make Them Hear You. And just seeing all the faces and hearing all the names tonight, it just lets me know that our voices have been heard. And with the club being built, and it's just like a really emotional thing, just know there's people that really care about our futures. So thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Larry Paris? Okay, Mr. Larry Paris. Oh, my friend.
First of all, let's talk about being heard. Let's hear it for what we accomplished today, guys. This is an incredible feat. There's so many people to thank. There's so many people to welcome. There's just an outstanding day for the city of St. Louis, for the city of Ferguson, the state of Missouri, and St. Louis County. I can't tell you how proud we are as the board to start this process 6 years ago, have design come to us, we approved, have finances come to us, we hoped, have Dave Spence come to us and say, we can get this done, and then have a board vote that says, we will accomplish this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we accomplished, and it is something to be very, very proud of. With that, my job is to stay on script, and script says I'm supposed to thank everybody for being here. So I'd like to recognize some very special people that allowed this to happen. Mayor Knowles of the city of Ferguson, thank you for showing up today. County Executive Dr. Sam Page, thank you for showing up today. Missouri Senator from the 14th District, Brian Williams, thank you for showing up today. And our special guest that this day was planned for, it could have been last week, it could have been a month ago, but we fit into the most important person in the Boys and Girls Club movement, and that's the president, CEO of the Boys and Girls National Club, and that's Jim Clark. Thank you, Jim, for showing up today. To all of our donors, I want to extend our greatest appreciation. We could not have today and operate this facility without your support. This magnificent facility, which will change lives forever, is due to your generosity. Your gifts represent acceptance of the club's mission and your faith in Flint Fowler that we'll be able to get this done. We delivered as promised, we delivered on time, and we delivered children who are going to have the opportunity to succeed and become what they choose to be rather than what society demands that they be. And we are so excited to give them the opportunity to live, to learn, and to grow in this great facility. A couple other big thanks that we have. We need to thank Dave Spence and Susie for getting us going. Thank you guys. You really were the positive light to keep this going. Dave wasn't alone. Pat Sly, his co-founder, co-chair of this, was a great inspiration and made sure that the doors of the city of St. Louis were open to us, and those doors did open, and we have now proven what those doors can do if, in fact, the mission is right and you have a leader like Flint Fowler. So I want to thank them. We couldn't have done this without this lady over here with her arms crossed, Ruth Lederman. You did an outstanding job. You put everything together for us, and we really want to thank you for everything that you've done. But no, our mission isn't changed. It just means we're going to move from Ferguson to somewhere else next. So get ready for the next assignment from the board. We'll let you know next month what that will be. To the board, please stand if you're here today. If you're a board member and you're here, please stand and be recognized. To Mary Bonacorsi, to Steve Bloom, they're the ones who dreamt this. I just happen to have the term that allowed me to stand up here, but Mary and Steve carried this flag, and we thank you very much, Mary and Steve Bloom, for getting us to where we are today. To June Fowler for giving us Flint Fowler, we appreciate you being here. No, I'm saying giving us your time and effort. The time that Flint spends for this club is unbelievable, and he could never do it without a supporting wife. And we can sit here and congratulate Flint all day, and we have, but I think it's time that we recognize that his wife, who is a big part of his life and keeps him on the straight and narrow, gets recognized as well. And June, we thank you. Finally, we couldn't do this without the club's professionals. And I mean that. From the youth development professionals, to the vice presidents, to the club directors, to the employees, please stand if you're here. We cannot thank you enough for making this possible and what you're going to do for us next month and the month after that. Thank you very much. Years ago, when this was dreamt up, we thought, we can do this. What kind of changes will it make? Will we have the impact that we think that and dream that we will have? Will the kids come? And the only answer to all of that is for us as a community to open the doors to this facility, to welcome the youths in, to volunteer your time to make sure they get the greatest experience that they can possibly get, and to know that your resources, when donated to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis, and making those opportunities last. To you kids in the corner, we can't thank you enough for giving us the chance to open your doors, your lives, and your dreams. We want to be part of them. We want to celebrate with you. And when the successes come, know that all of us here are going to be clapping for you. Now it's my honor to introduce the mayor of Ferguson, who said we could make this happen, and we did. And with that, Mayor Knowles, we'd love to hear some comments from you today.
Thank you, and on behalf of the City of Ferguson, I want to welcome you all here this afternoon. This really is an exciting opportunity for us. Now, I know there's a few other politicians, so I'm not going to belabor you with political speech or grandeur, but I do want to thank all of you for being out here, and I do want to thank the Boys and Girls Club, particularly Dave and Susie Spence, the board, Dr. Flint Fowler, for all that they've done to make this happen. You know, it's only been 5 years since just over here on the streets of West Florissant, we saw a lot of people speaking out, expressing their frustrations, really crying out for someone to listen to them, to help in many ways which they haven't been helped before. Now, it was just reminded a moment ago before I got up here that this at one point was the site of an old Ponderosa. And unfortunately, 5 years ago, that Ponderosa had sat empty so long, it really became a symbol of just abandonment, and abandonment not of just this political or just of this economic corridor, but of this community, of this area here, which a lot of people felt and they expressed out there on the streets. What I hope is that this facility will really become a symbol of progress, a symbol of hope for many people who spoke out so many nights, night after night, 5 years ago, looking for hope, looking for someone to invest in their community, invest in themselves. This is a tremendous investment in the West Florissant corridor. It is really just the next step. This isn't the end. We're celebrating a ribbon cutting here, but we hope that this is just the next step and many developments that will occur along this corridor, bringing hope, bringing economic development, bringing jobs to people in this community, in this area. This is a very exciting opportunity, a very exciting time. And for those of you who are familiar with the West Florissant Great Streets program that began many years ago, and as we hope to be continuing, I would like to impress upon our new county executive that we would like to see St. Louis County's continued support and dedication to making sure that this entire corridor through the Great Streets program does receive its attention and the revitalization for the cities of Jennings, the city of Ferguson, and of course, our dear brothers to the north. I see Mayor Reggie Jones from Delwood. We want to make sure that all of our communities receive the benefit of this great transformation. And so thank you all for being out here today. Thank you for your commitment to this community. Thank you for your investment, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And I forgot to say, Mr. Larry is the chair of the board, so that was just important for you guys to know. Now I would like to introduce County Executive Dr. Sam Page.
Wow, what a crowd. I see an overflow crowd. I see some familiar faces as I travel throughout North County and celebrate the great things that are happening. Some of them a secret, some of them not so much of a secret, but I'm glad to be here today for another great event, a teen center for our young adults in North County, Ferguson, Florissant, and Jennings. This is a great opportunity. I'm not surprised at all to hear that Dwayne James and the Ferguson Youth Initiative, that's you, Dwayne, that's right, has, driving this question 15 years ago. I'm not at all surprised to hear that Dave and Susie Spence are involved in this. They do a lot of great things in our community. But I'm here to say, yes, you have St. Louis County support. Absolutely, are we going to be focusing on North County. And I had a team in Washington, D.C. Just last week lobbying for the grant that Mayor Knowles mentioned, which will bring a lot of money and opportunity here for some new development and new infrastructure. So we're all going to work very hard to try and make that happen, along with our federal elected officials. So you all can say a quiet prayer in the process, and let's make this happen, and let's come back here in a few more weeks, a few more months, and celebrate another great development, another great opportunity for young people in this area in North County. Thank you.
Since we're talking about the foundation of the Boys and Girls Club in this particular area, I was in 7th grade at Ferguson Middle School when everything happened in Ferguson, and like it was a stressful, traumatic event for our school, but we still had to go to school and persist on with like our day-to-day activities. But the Ferguson Commission gave our school the opportunity to voice our opinions on what was going on in our community and how they could help. And several people from our school said that the teens, the youth needed something, not necessarily to take your mind off what's going on, but something to transfer your energy in. So you have so much pain and hurt, instead of nowhere to, place it, is what led to all the destruction happening in our community. So to see this in fruition have to actually come to pass, and everybody like being on board. So this was however many years ago, 5 years ago, and so you think that people forget or that they don't listen. But time heals old wounds, and it's true. So, but now, now I would like to introduce the Senator of the 14th District, County, Brian Williams.
Can we clap it up one more time for Miss Adams? Thank you for everything you're doing. So she introduced me as the state senator for District 14. I'm up here actually as a lifelong Ferguson resident and a alumni of the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm gonna be really brief. Clearly, we've been talking to you all enough. I'm going to talk to these young people to the right and the left of me. When I remember being in your shoes and have my arms crossed, not understanding what $24 million mean or 26,000 square feet or why all these people are out here in suits, I just want to have a good time and play. When I was in those shoes, that's all I wanted to do. And if you guys stay committed to showing up, spending time in facilities like this under the leadership of Dr. Flint Fowler, not only would you have an opportunity to do what he said, and that's when you put the youth at center, you create generational change. When you put the youth at center, you create generational change. You know, Dr. Fowler is not only someone that's been a supporter of mine, but he's a friend. And when I think about the commitment that he's made to me, these young people, to this community, this region, as well as the folks out in the crowd, the folks that aren't here, we create generational change where you have first-time high school graduates, first-time college graduates, doctors, attorneys, the only black male in the Missouri State Senate. That's what happens when we put our children at the center. So thank you so much for all being here. Let's be grateful and blessed to have good weather. Let's be grateful to actually have October weather for the first time this season. And I appreciate everyone's commitment to this facility, to these young people. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Now I have the honor of introducing Jim Clark, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of America. Mr. Clark joined the Boys and Girls Club of America as President and CEO in January of 2012. He leads a network of 4,300 Boys and Girls Club that serve nearly 4 million young people annually in all 50 states, in large cities, small towns, public housing, native lands, on U.S. military installations across the globe. More than 50,000 professional staff members operate the club, supported by some of 285,000 board and program volunteers. Jim has guided the organization through the launch of an exciting new strategic direction called the Great Futures Impact Plan. Under his leadership, clubs are increasing impact on the young people that they serve by focusing on 3 priority outcome areas: academic success, good character and citizenship, and healthy lifestyles. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Jim Clark.
First of all, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure at her age I could stand up here and MC a event like this. Oh my God. Phenomenal. Well, it truly is an honor and a privilege to be here today for so many reasons, to celebrate this beautiful facility that will serve tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of teens for decades to come into the future. But to me, it's also a celebration of what's happened in this community and what's possible. You know, 5 years ago, all eyes in this country were on this community, this very location, for what happened here. And it's great to see at least Channel 5, TV5 here, and I hope you pass this on to CNN and all the other national news coverage as well. Because all eyes should be on Ferguson today for what's happening right here. You know, the old adage is so true. It takes a village to raise a child. In this case, it takes a community. And I really hope you understand what you've done, because what you've done is truly incredible, remarkable, and spectacular. A couple of people have already referred to these kids and teens. I want you guys to come in the front, because this is about you. The senator was right. Kids need to be at the center, and here they are at the center. And I'll tell you, when it comes right down to it, if you think about what we call our line, great futures, and great futures start here, these are the great futures. The doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, the next state senators, the factory workers, the technicians, the politicians, and hopefully one day a president of the United States is standing in front of you. This is what this is all about, is these kids and teens right here, and let's celebrate them. You know, I do get to say y'all because I'm from Atlanta. Of course I am. But y'all have a lot to celebrate today, and it starts with these kids. And today, to me, is the most important day, and what's happening right here is the most important thing in this country, is the celebration and the opening of this beautiful new Boys and Girls Club. It is a shining beacon of hope and opportunity, but to me, it's also something else. It is a symbol of the return of the American dream and the American promise, which is real simple. Doesn't matter what zip code you come from, you can be anything that you want to be. And that's the message for these kids. Thank you all. On behalf of Boys and Girls Clubs of America, our Board of Governors, I'm not going to read all of this, but this is the official proclamation and resolution from our board dedicating the Boys and Girls Club Teen Center of Excellence under the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis and Ferguson, Missouri. Flint, come on up here. Larry.
I really want you all to recognize someone I think was very essential to this project. And when KAI met with us and they talked about what their team would look like, they mentioned this guy and they said, well, you know, he's an alum of the club, you know, he's dedicated and he's professional and all that kind of stuff. I didn't believe him, but it turned out to be true. So I want you all to please join me and thank Dean Rackley, if you would come up. He said he didn't want to say anything. I told him I didn't want him to say anything. The fact of the matter is that, you know, when you're at your home and you want things to be just right, and you know there's a little smudge on the window or there's the seat's not quite right, Dean is that kind of person, you know. So if things weren't going the right way, he would call us or he would tell us, or if some suggestion was being made, he would kind of catch us in the corner of his eye and he goes, like, don't go along with that, you know. Ask them to do something else. But I mean, the personal commitment he made to this project is just unbelievable. And he made it a wonderful experience for us, and I can never thank him enough for the role that he's played in helping this project come to fruition.
So thank you all. But next, I would like to introduce one of our other members at one of the Ferguson locations that will now hopefully be joining this club. David Middleton.
Good afternoon. My name is David Middleton. I am 14 and have been a member of Boys and Girls School for 4 years. And I am currently in the 8th grade at Ferguson Middle School. What's today's date? October 3rd. Yes, it is. October 3rd, the day my journey of growth and development will continue here at the new Teen Center of Excellence. For me today, October 3rd signifies hope and change for myself and hundreds of other youth. This Teen Center of Excellence will provide a safe haven for you to explore natural talents and abilities. This Teen Center of Excellence will allow you to discover, invent, and pave their future with the right people and the right resources. This Teen Center of Excellence brings limitless opportunities to us, our families, and the community. The Boys and Girls Club mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. So today, October 3rd, means so much more than the cutting of the ribbon. It's opening the doors to a new life and new beginnings. We made it today, and we celebrate.
So thank you all for your raise this up a little bit. Thank you all for your inspirational words and words of encouragement and just your participation in being here. But now we're going to go. We all been waiting for the ribbon cutting of this teen center. So if the ribbon cutters could please go to their spaces and everyone else gather around the ribbon, we will officially open the doors to the new Teen Center of Excellence.
I'm more excited than anything about this gym. I didn't know it was gonna be a gym in here. I thought it was gonna be like a little computer area or something, but they got a whole gym, seats, weight room. I'm more excited about this. I mean, like, I'm waiting for the cupcakes and stuff after this. I might go get a couple cupcakes, but it's nice in here. It exceeded my expectations.
This is state of the art. It's amazing. It's like priceless. Real money, real love has been put into this institution, right in the heart of where it's needed.
I think this is absolutely amazing and phenomenal for the surrounding area and the communities. Our communities lack centers like this to have places for our children to go to kind of recreate at and just kind of have a vacation away from school and home so that they can just be themselves and be children.
To see it come into a reality after that time was just like really hopeful, and just to know that our voices have been heard and that people actually care. So it's really exciting. And I think that all the teens and all the youth in our community know it too.
It's encouraging. I mean, I'm excited to see, man, what they have going and how the police department can partner, with the Boys and Girls Club, with different events and different programs and stuff. We in here in the gym. Hey, I'm ready to go put my sneakers on, man, and get out here, man, play some ball or something. And so, just different ways that we can interact, with the kids and to show them a different side and build up those relationships, with law enforcement so they can see, okay, all right, there's more to it than just being a police officer. They're not just out here arresting people or pulling people over and writing tickets and stuff. All right, man, they play basketball. We have artists, at the police department, different things like that. And so, man, we can come together and communicate a little bit more on some of the similarities that we have and more things that we have in common. I think that'll help, trying to change the dynamic a little bit of how some of our young people look at police and look at law enforcement when they can get to know us and learn some of the things about us on a more personal level.
Well, this is a stupid comment, but I'm amazed how big it is in the inside. Because it doesn't look that big on the outside, right? You come in here and you're like, wow, there's a whole basketball court in here. There's a whole computer room, a whole kitchen, a whole recording studio, game room, a safe place for kids. And, if 8,000 kids, which is what the touch in this area of the Boys and Girls Club, if we can have 8,000 families be touched by this, think of the ripple effect in our community. So I'm just so proud to be a part of it. And we're proud as a family and proud of our community.
Well, if you want young people to dream and understand what that dream really means in the context of being successful, why not expose them to the best? I remember people coming to our Herbert Hoover Club on North Grand. They talk about how nice the building is and how clean it is. I mean, what do you expect us to put in front of our kids? You're trying to show them a better way, and you're going to walk them through a building with holes in the walls and no lights? No, you want to show them the best because you want the best out of them. And I think that's what this means. Why not put the best equipment in front of them so that they can give their best? If you put shoddy stuff in front of them, you're going to get shoddy results. And we want the best for our kids. And for many of them, they're not starting out with the best. They are already starting out. You talk about somebody's at home plate, somebody's at first base, somebody's at second base, and third base. All right, many of these kids are already starting out, behind their counterparts. And so it's important to introduce the best to them so they can begin to set their own expectations. I think, and that's a big part of what we do. We expect the best from our kids, and so when they reach that level of expectation, they know what it means to be excellent.